Good evening, Kings fans. Tonight, we get a second dose of the Portland Trailblazers in Portland. The Kings have clinched. Hopefully, everybody's clinchmas is kind of wound up. You're feeling back to normal, got a day off. But tonight, the Kings can do more. They can actually clinch a Pacific Division championship. They do need a little help from the Suns, who are at Denver. We can talk a little bit more about that. And should there be a banner raised if the Kings get the Pacific Division Championship this year? Anyways, I'm Ryno in Sacktown. This is the pregame show on If You Don't Like That. Thanks so much for being here. Yes. Yes, on everything. Yes, it's Friday. Yes, the Kings are back in action. Yes, they are playing an inferior opponent tonight. Yes, they possibly could clinch the Pacific Division tonight with a win and a loss by the Suns. Not sure if any of you heard about this, but there was somebody that bought, I believe it was 1 or 2 tickets for the Kings to win the Pacific Division title at the beginning of the season. I think it was almost summertime, and the odds were just outrageous. So that person is going to be cleaning up. Let's just put it that way. Hopefully, they did not lose that ticket. John, I think you're saying yes because, yes, your beard is coming off in the post game show unless we have any difficulties, which I do not anticipate. This beautiful mane is going to be going away. If I can get this picture put up really quick. Let's see. Nope, those are the ones that are out. John, we lost the picture. We'll have to get it back up there. But yeah, John's going to shave his beard on the post game show, which should be a ton of fun indeed. What is everybody doing tonight? I got you all checking in. Yeah, get that Y in the standings. It's the X in the standings that I really like. So that's the one the Kings got the other night. What is the over under for the bench? Are you talking about scoring, Kevin? You want to know what the over under should be for the bench? I don't know. It depends. I mean, what really everything depends on is if this Kings team can figure a way to crack that zone like they did in the second half. They can't have another first half like they did the other night against Portland. What's up, MC? Thank you so much, man. Right back at you. You are the man. And yes, please hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. I know Grant would greatly appreciate that. We are here for halftime and also post game. Those are Grant shows. I am lucky enough to get to tag along with him for those. Yes, sir. Let's keep the momentum going. Stay hot. That's what the Kings need to do. And oh yeah, stay healthy. That would be just about as important. But there's also, by the way, some really interesting games going on that we should keep our eyes on. The one in particular that I'm really watching is the Clippers and the Grizzlies. Right now, the Grizzlies are up 69-62. That is with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So we do want to hopefully get a Grizzlies loss there. The Lakers and the Timberwolves, another important one. The T-Wolves are up 5. That also in the third quarter, 76-71 with 6 minutes left. So we will keep our eyes on those as the night goes along. Let's see. Rome had a nice take of the Kings. Yeah. He did a take on the Kings. It's probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It was after they beat New York, and yeah, his take the other day was really cool. It's always nice when Sacramento gets some run in the jungle and gets national run overall. So I would not be surprised if you don't see Mike Brown pop up sometime soon on the Rome show. Hint, hint. We'll see. Yes, Grant is a legend. We know that, and he is just a great guy. And we're so lucky to have him doing these shows and breaking things down with the knowledge and the insight that only Grant can have. And we get an occasional rant too, right? Those are always fun. So happy Friday to you, Rob from Mineola. Hey, that's one of my Rome buddies, Rob, right? You're from. Let's get it. Yeah, let's get it, Rob. No doubt, no doubt. No. So Lillard is not playing. They have shut him down for the season. For those that don't know, what's happening in Portland is Portland, and they wouldn't say this, but Portland has a protected draft pick that if at any time between now and 2028, Portland does not have a lottery pick, then it goes to Chicago. So they are trying to ensure that they are picking in the lottery, which means you miss the playoffs, you're in the lottery, and get to keep that pick. So that's why they pretty much shut down everybody for the season, and it is what it is. It's the new NBA. Let's just let's say what it is. It is the new NBA. So disappointing to see, but hey, this Portland team that will be on the floor tonight, they played the Kings tough for a first half, and the Kings played awful, 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 awful. And that was strictly due to one thing: the zone defense. So if the Kings can crack that, we're going to be just fine. And by crack it, I don't mean hitting threes from around the perimeter, just swinging the ball around the perimeter. They've got to crack it by having the low guy cut up and then let the high post guy cut down. You got to get the ball to the center of a zone to break it and make quick, good decisions. So I think they've had enough time now. And, what we don't want is we don't want the zone defense to become kind of that standard that other teams that may play the Kings in the future say, hey, this team can't crack a zone, because on the surface, you'd say, why the hell would you play zone defense against Sacramento Kings the way they shoot the three ball? And it's worked out because we are very quick to shoot a three. If they start going down, which they haven't to this point while teams are in the zone, then they have to come out of the zone. But that has not happened. So let's see. Ryan, you used to play basketball. Yes, indeed, Philip. I did used to play basketball. Very, very exciting time back in the day. You're going early with your score, MJ? That's even early by your standards. Okay, you're going Kings 128, Portland 101. All right. MJ, why do you think it's going to be that small of a margin, since Kings are coming off basically a 40-point win against Portland, and they struggled in the first half? Kev, with Keegan setting the record of threes, where do you see him in the Rookie of the Year standings? I don't see it any different. I don't think the record really changes much. It's gonna go to the guy in Orlando. He's probably, I would say he's the chalk by now, and by chalk I mean betting favorite. But that does not discount what Keegan has done. I think Keegan will be on the first team, or first all rookie team. And Vancaro, excuse me. He's just more explosive. He's the only guy really on that team. And to have those types of numbers when you are being centered on every single night, very impressive. He's also played most nights as well. But Keegan, he's been set up for success, right? And I guess the cool thing for Keegan is there's so much room for his game to grow at this point. And I really think it will in the offseason if he works with the right guys, because he's got to get that mid-range game going. He's got to be a little bit more content taking it to the hoop, instead of just hanging out around the arc. So anyways, get your comments in. What's everybody doing for the game tonight? They are losing on purpose. Gabriel, it would appear that way. I mean, they're not okay. They're not putting their best team out to play. They're holding them back. And if you look at why they're being held back, I know we still have this. Check it out. Okay, knee surgery recovery, that's fair. Quad contusion, fair. Look at how many sorenesses and tightnesses are on here. Lumbar soreness, ankle sprain, that's fair. Foot soreness, knee soreness, calf tightness. They got to put something on there. I mean, this looks nearly as bad as just putting load management. But so yeah, they're not putting their best team out to play against the Kings, but that doesn't mean they're losing on purpose, because those other guys that are getting minutes that don't normally get minutes, they're going to want to shine. This may be a tryout for them for another team. They may be on an expiring contract, looking to, put some good tape out there for other teams. And they want to do it for their team too. Who knows? They could get re-signed by Portland. So sometimes the guys that don't play much, those can be the scariest in games like this, because they're going to be going after every loose ball. They're going to be diving on the floor. This is their playoffs. They're not going on to the next round, so this is their opportunity to really shine. So I would just kind of keep that in mind, and that's across the board, right? With any team that's in this position. Let's see. Let's see, Paul. In 30 plus years from now, Ryan, will we be calling you a legend? I don't know, Paul. We'll see. We will see. What I can tell you is I have had the absolute honor, luck, and blessing to be learning and working with a legend on a daily basis, and that being Grant Napier, and also Jerry Reynolds. Getting to work with him once a week. I'm learning from the best, so I'm not so concerned about me becoming a legend. I am more concerned about soaking up as much information as I can from those legends. So we'll see. We'll see. Anything is possible. Trying to get you guys have so many comments tonight. I really appreciate it. We're talking about Barnes and DMC collaborating. There you go, Kevin. Eating some pizza. Let me guess, Kev. You're doing Hawaiian pizza. I'm gonna say Hawaiian. It's either Hawaiian or sausage and pepperoni. But thank you for watching, for sure. We really appreciate that. Let's see. What? Portland needs Patrick Mahomes' heart. Well, it's not so much. You got to understand, these are business decisions. And these are not decisions made. I should say these are not usually decisions that are made by the players. These are decisions from the front office. These are decisions from the coach. So could a player say, no, I am playing and you can't stop me? Sure. What happens from there? Who knows? Maybe that has even happened at this point with certain players and they still were not allowed to play. But, it's hard to call it a heart issue per se, in my opinion. But the NBA definitely needs to take a much deeper dive into load management and how they're going to handle this, because I can certainly tell you Adam Silver at his NBA All-Star press conference saying that it is not a problem is a huge problem. So we can just leave it at that. Okay, I see you. Got the Voodoo Ranger going. That's actually one of my wife's favorites. So I can respect that. I heard somebody's out because they ate too much this afternoon. That would be unconfirmed and would seem a little bit out there, Paul, but who knows? Delhi for the Kings is out. Delhi has a broken finger, so he will not be available. So everybody else for the Kings is available. Here's something interesting. What's everybody think of Alex Lynn getting Metu's minutes as of late? Do you guys think that's a matchup situation the past couple games, or do you think that's something that may be here to stay for the playoff run? I know a lot of people have it a few different ways. Okay, there you go, Kevin. Meat lovers and veggie can do that for the win. Yes, Jeff. You always say my volume's low. Can you hear me a little bit better now? Is the volume still low? I'll check my mic after this show, but thanks for letting me know about that, buddy. I guess I'll put it up. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing me? If you are, instead of typing yes, just put 1 in the chat. Just type 1. And then I will try to get that fixed. John has a comment about Alex. Alex has been or is really beefed up since coming into the NBA. Yes, he has, but Alex also is not. Let's put it this way: his athleticism, where he's at athletically, definitely is different than where the other 4 guys are. When they're on the court together, you can tell he's not nearly as athletic as the guys he's playing with, but that's okay. A great point, Angel. He does cause spacing issues. So that Angel, if Alex starts to get more playing time, that's going to come with playing time because he is not. He gets, believe it or not, he gets a decent amount of run with the first unit in practice when they actually scrimmage and practice hard. But gameplay is always going to be completely different from practice. And it takes a little bit of time to really get a feel for where your guy's going to be at. Sure, you know where he's the general area he is supposed to be at when you're running a certain play or running a certain offense. But this offense in particular that the Kings run, it's like an option offense. Like you think about the option in football where it's a complete read. So the quarterback, if it was football, the quarterback can hand it off. If that's clogged up, doesn't like it, quarterback can run with it then. If the DN's coming up on the quarterback to hit him, then the quarterback can pitch it out to his option guy. So it's all these different things that they are making decisions on based on how the defender is playing them. And Alex has to be able to recognize that stuff and know that Kevin Herter's going to do a flare when this usually happens, or De'Aaron's going to try to get to this spot when a guy guards him on the right, And so that can come with time, but it does stick out more. And right now, the spacing has not been great. So I do like that point a lot. Let's see. The Beam Team. I like Alex Lynn on defense and his rebounding. Yeah, he's a big body, you know. He sets good screens. He has been setting good screens. It's just a matter again of timing. He needs to know when to get there to set the screen, and it's going to be different for every player. Fox might like to go a little faster than Monk does. In terms of when that screen is initiated. So once that timing stuff gets down, then it won't be as significant and as obvious. But when you talk about his defense, he's the only guy he's the only true shot blocker on this team. Sabonis will block a shot here and there, and then some of the guards and the forwards, they'll get a blocked shot, whether it's on a jump shot or coming from behind on a big man. but he's the only true, guy that's going to stand down there and block shots. So that is a benefit. Yeah, I like his effort. Absolutely. So, and you kind of get that from every player on this team, whether they're playing or not. If they haven't been playing and their numbers called, usually the effort is always there. And that's what you definitely want to see. Okay, so it looks like you can hear me just fine. MC's like Jeff needs to trump his volume. I'll double check again my mic afterwards, but I've kept it at the same level for the entire season, so maybe it's something weird tonight. Okay, everybody else is saying no. Okay, all right. Yeah, MC Len is slow. We know. Yeah, he's a wall. Yep. He just he has to remember to stay up and down, up and down. Like, and that's one of the most difficult things to do for a big man, not to kind of come over like this or jump into somebody. Even though you're allowed to do it, anytime a big man jumps sideways, I feel like the refs are always going to call a foul on that, whether the big guy is straight up and down. Okay, we're getting some MJ. We're gonna go there. Okay. You're saying SDSU in Connecticut. I am as well. If you want a 30-second prediction of this weekend, SDSU and FAU will be the best game of the weekend. There's no doubt about that. I think UConn will blow out Miami. I don't even think it's going to be close. SDSU with FAU. The key to that, because FAU, they can do anything. They can play any style. The Aztecs have to get them to slow down a little bit, and they've got to get them in that grinding kind of, monogamous and very just. You make them work. Let's put it that way. You make them work every second of the shot clock. They've got to get them into that type of game. And if the Aztecs do that, they shoot the ball decent, because that is a struggle for them. And third key, make their free throws. They have got to make their free throws. Not always a great free throw shooting team. I can see SDSU winning that game, and they will win that game. Only caveat where I see FAU winning is if FAU gets out to a lead anything above, I would say 12, but maybe 15, because it would be very difficult for SDSU to make up those points the way they play and the way that they score. It's not like the Kings that can make it up like that. It would take SDSU a decent amount of clock to do that. So let's get Justin back in here. Do you think the Blazers would ever consider trading Lillard? You know what? I feel like that's been that internal kind of struggle with that organization the last couple of years. They brought in CJ McCollum for Dame. They drafted CJ, and for a very long time, they were arguably the best backcourt in the Western Conference before Curry and Clay really started lighting it up, and it wasn't enough to get them over the hump. So they try to reset, and you think, okay, what's the next piece they can bring in for Dame? And nothing really happened, and now they got Thibault. Here's the thing. Dame has been on record saying he wants to be a Blazer for his entire career, and I believe that. I really do. I don't think he's one of those guys. But I just don't see what Portland is going to be able to do. Like Sacramento, it's a difficult market to attract free agents, number one. Number two, your draft pick situation is not great. Because you have protected picks, and that's how Portland would have to build from within. And how many more years does Dame have in that prime playing condition? I mean, I would argue he's probably on the downside of that hill, coming down it. So it'll be interesting. Dame would be an amazing piece for a team just to put him over the edge. I mean, quite frankly, could you imagine Dame in Sacramento taking a backup role to De'Aaron? Could you imagine that? That would be that would take the Kings over the top, over the top. But the money that probably would not work out very well. Let's see. Somebody say Davis is hurt again. I've not heard anything on Davis. Um, let's see. Many people saying we have zero chance of winning the West. Would be fun to make people quiet. Yeah, absolutely. But that's a good thing. I would much rather be hearing that than, oh, Kings are a lock to win the West. The Kings are coming out of the West. It's only a matter of who they're going to play in the East. It's not what I want to see, what I want to hear. Let them have a chip on their shoulder, as they should, because you look at this entire Western Conference. I mean, it's kind of a dead horse, but if I sit here right now, Friday, March 31st, and I ask you, who in the Western Conference is better than the Kings? Flat out better right now on March 31st. Who's the answer? I think Denver, even though they've been struggling, Denver is definitely in that group. Phoenix is Phoenix. We've had a small sample size with Durant. I guess you would have to assume Durant is going to get rolling and, stay healthy, hopefully. But those are the only two teams that are head and shoulders better than the Kings. So what I'm saying is the West is up for grabs. It really is. And I don't want to get everybody's hopes up because, the Kings could lose in the first round, but so could the Nuggets. So it's going to be a fun postseason, especially on the West. But the Eastern Conference is much different. Those teams at the top, those are very good teams. I will tell you right now, the Bucks, the Celtics, the Cavaliers, all three of those teams are better than the Kings. All three, flat out. So that would be another story if they did get to a situation where they make it through the West and they're the Western Conference champions. Ryan, who do you think will be the biggest surprise for the Kings in the playoffs? Whew, good question. Biggest surprise. Well, we already know we're going to get out of Domas, right? We might as well just start doing Chuck Norris jokes about Domas. Just replace Chuck Norris with Domas Sabonis, because he's just a walking machine, just badass. Biggest surprise. As of today, the biggest surprise for me is going to be Kevin Huerter. I think Kevin Huerter is going to get, I think teams are really going to focus in because Kevin, he's been playing better lately, but teams are going to focus in on Foxy. They're going to focus in on Domas. We know that. And they're also going to do whatever they can do to make sure that Keegan is not always wide open. So that's going to affect how they do their double teams, how they do their switches, who the guy on the weak side of the floor is rotating on. So I think Kevin is the one. And Kevin, for the longest time, has felt like he is just ready to break out. And I think it's officially Kevin breakout time. Kevin, out of the starting lineup, I would say he can create his shot just as well as Harrison Barnes. I mean, if we're looking for looking at the Kings starters and who can create their own shot. Domas, no. He can create his own shot in the post once he's fed the ball, but I'm talking more perimeter, off the dribble. Fox, yes, he's number 1. 2 would be Barnes. 3 would be Herter. So Herter's already there, and we've seen Kevin not be afraid to do other things when the 3 ball's not falling. And that's the same kind of thing that Keegan needs to do. And I would say 4th is Keegan. Keegan has a very difficult time creating his own shot, but Kevin Herter is going to be the surprise for me. And I'm going to back that up with a Kessler Edwards defensively. Not much on offense, but Kessler is going to be a monster on defense in the playoffs when it steps up to that level. FAU had a Mickey Mouse run. They didn't play actual teams. No, that's a garbage take, Magnus. And I appreciate you watching. You're in Switzerland, I think, right, Magnus? No, if you're talking about the conference they played in, the conference wasn't as good as some of the other conferences in America, but anybody that is in the NCAA tournament is not a Mickey Mouse team. Nobody. And you're going to get anybody's best shot because it is one and done in that situation. So I definitely don't think they've had a Mickey Mouse run whatsoever. But people are agreeing with you. So, who knows? Getting some more SDSU. I want SDSU to win it all. So, Seth Greenberg can eat crow. Yeah. I think I already told you the story. I had SDSU winning it all, and I changed it at the last second because I had them playing Houston. And I'm like, well, Houston's also a defensive team. They score better than us, yada, yada, yada. So I don't care about my bracket, and I will eat it if they win the championship, but I probably won't live it down from some of my other friends and teammates. But yeah, I am hoping that they win as well, and all the national reporters can go and eat their crow, courtesy of MJ. All right, so we are getting closer and closer to tip-off Kings and Trailblazers tonight. Speaking of eating, go check out our sponsor, Bennett's. Bennett's 3 locations. Location in Sacramento, location also in Roseville, and a 3rd location soon to come in the Blue Oaks Town Center in Rockland. Bennett's has a little bit of everything, and hey, it's the weekend time. Go get a glass of wine there. They've got over 50 different wines. Sundays, they have a prime rib special. Sunday brunch, where they have a mimosa special. I heard they have a Monday night dinner special as well. They have top-notch dishes. They have prime cuts of steak, great seafood. My wife and I always go for a steak and the redfish, and we end up splitting everything. And don't forget about their dessert menu. Oh my gosh, absolutely to die for. Awesome place to take a date, cool place to go watch a game, great place to take a party if you're having a work event. But Bennett's is the place to be. Brian Bennett, the owner, he's a huge Kings fan and a huge, huge fan of the show and sponsor. So go check out Bennett's. We promise you will not be disappointed. Locations in Roseville, Sacramento off of Howe and Fair Oaks, and a 3rd location soon to come in Rockland at the Blue Oaks Town Center. I know I ask this every single time. How many people have been to Bennett yet? Has anybody else tried it now for the first time? Because you will not be disappointed. And hey, don't forget, I think Grant threw something out there that if you went to Bennett's and you didn't like it, he'd pay for your meal. But you better be honest about that, because that would be bad karma. That would be really, really bad karma. Uh-oh. What is this? Andrew, you got 2 tickets for game 1? Heck yeah, man. Wow. Wow. Protect those with your life. Protect those with your life. That is awesome. Did you do it through the drawing? Or not the drawing, but I think it's kings.com/playoffs or something like that. Guessing you got selected. Oh my gosh. If there's a game to be at, that's the one. That is going to be nuts. And you know what? I'm not sure if you guys were here for post game the other night when the Kings clinched, but Grant said, get there early, soak it all in, be there and be in your seat when the players come out for warm-ups. It's you'll remember it for the rest of your life, and for you to get to see your first playoff game be that playoff game, man. I guess Andrew, the only problem you got now is who are you taking to the game? So I bet there's a lot of people that want to go with you. Will you spot me at the first game? We'll see. We will see, Andrew. That is a game time decision as of right now. But you'll definitely spot me at some of the playoff games. I really would like to get to game one, but just gotta get all my ducks in a row for that. Let's see. Yeah. Drink it up, Sacramento. Drink it up. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Andrew, seriously, though, I want to know who you're taking. Like, sometimes when that happens, you get like, like maybe you have a brother that's a huge Kings fan, but then you have a significant other that kind of doesn't like basketball, but if you don't invite her, it kind of gets you in some deep water. Or your dad who grew up taking you to games, or your mom who grew up taking you to games. Like, are they all going to feel left out if you don't take them? Sometimes it's like, oh, maybe I should just get one ticket so I don't have to worry about that. Nice. You're going to take your dad. Yep. Very cool. Very, very cool. What's up, Bobby? How you doing, brother? Thanks for being here for the pregame. Appreciate you. We will be back for halftime and also postgame. I would ask you for scores or your score predictions, but I guess I just got to ask really quick. Did any of you, and I know yesterday was opening day for baseball, did any of you see the Dodgers fan that proposed to his girlfriend and ran on the field and proposed to his girlfriend? And then see the security guard come out of nowhere and just lay like the most perfect, like half, like it was in between a Lawrence Taylor sack and like a Roman Reigns spear. It was ridiculous. I felt, I first off, it's going to be a great story for that guy. How did you, when you get asked that question, how'd you propose? I can't think of a story that's going to beat that. Assuming she said yes. But I wish they would have taken it a little bit lighter on him. He meant no harm. He was on a knee, but that was some epic video for sure. If you guys, yeah, you can share the link if you guys have it. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Yes, please push the thumbs up button. Indeed. Okay, so tonight, keys to the game. Put your key into the chat as we get ready to wrap up. And thank you, everybody joining us. I can see we've got a ton on YouTube, ton probably on on Twitter Live. But let me know what your key to tonight's game is, and I will let you know what mine is. My key to the game is assists. And the reason my key is assists is because they're playing, or they will be playing, against a zone defense. So the Kings, their assist number was pretty low last game. When they get 30 or more assists, their win percentage is through the roof. And so I want to see them not only have 30 assists or somewhere in that neighborhood, but I also want to see them recognize when Portland is playing zone. because there were multiple times last game they were still running their man-to-man offense against the zone, which makes no sense whatsoever. Good example, Fox. So if you're in a 2-3 zone, or they're in a 2-3 zone, Fox beats the first top guy off the dribble. And normally that would be a blow by. He's either going to shoot a floater, or he's going to continue to the hoop, or take a step and then fade away. What happens? Great, you beat that guy, but now there's a second guy that just steps right into your face, and it backs you up, and it backs you back out into the perimeter. So those are like those little things the zone takes away. It takes away the advantages. So I want to see the Kings run a different type of offense that is zone friendly, that breaks the zone like that embarrasses the zone. Embarrass the hell out of that zone. You have G leaguers basically playing this zone against you. So that is what I want to see. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, Keegan, did he smile in the huddle? Interesting. Huh. All right. Well, guys, game is getting ready to tip off. Thank you so much for joining the pregame show. I will be back with Grant at halftime. Come on back. We're going to have some fun. And do not forget to also come back for the postgame show, because John is going to be getting his beard shaved. And I'm telling you, his beard is like from here to here. So that's going to be pretty darn cool. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here. Go Kings. Let's have a great first half.